The Cookie Monster's a hero, isn't he? We all love him. I don't think there's anyone in the world that doesn't love him. Now, this is a New York cheesecake, and it's a very simple thing to put together. It starts off with some cream cheese. This is a 250-gram block, and make sure you warm it up. It's really important that it's nice and warm, otherwise it's really hard to mix together. If I wanted to be mean, I'd leave it in the fridge for you, but I'm a nice guy, aren't I?
I'm surprised. It's softened. Perfect.
Exactly. Now, I'll get you to zest the lemon straight into the bowl, and while you're doing that, I'll add the brown sugar, which is lovely wholemeal sugar, lots of flavour and fibre in there as well. And we also have some vanilla that I'll put in there, which will give it a lovely, lovely flavour. And while you're grating that, I'll slide in this egg yolk here.
What's the reason for the egg yolk?
Egg yolk to just help to bind it together and to use up the white that's already going to go in there later on, which I'll talk about later on. But I'll get you to zest that. That's probably the perfect amount in there. So give it a tap to make sure it's all out of there. That's it. Perfect.
Chef pro tip.
Oh, I've got to get all that lemon zest. We want all that lemon flavour in there. So I'll get you to mix that around till it all starts to come together. That'll take you a couple of minutes. And while you're doing that, I'm going to show you how to make the biscuit cookie cheesecake base.
Well, it sounds very rich and decadent and like a real sometimes food. And I just want to point out to you, the Cookie Monster now does talk about sometimes foods.
He does. I don't like that Cookie Monster. I like the old one.
You like the old school one.
I'll add a cup of flour straight into the bowl here and some baking powder to give it just a little bit of fluff. The egg white goes into the base there. That gives it some protein to bring it all together. Now, I've got some biscuits here. These are digestive biscuits that are great for your digestion and good for your gut health and all those lovely things. In our house, we call them Bianca biscuits because at childcare, Bianca would give these out to all of the kids. So all of the kids call them Bianca biscuits. So there you go. In they go into the Maggi mix and some butter, about 140 grams of butter. It can be salted or unsalted, whatever you want, but make sure it's nice and soft. That way it comes together really, really easily. That goes into the bowl here like this, and you're mixing that up beautifully. All the lumps are coming out of it, so that'll be ready in no time. I'll pop the lid on this, whiz this around till I've got a nice sort of dough, crumbly consistency, and then I'll show you how to put these together. It's really interesting and a lot of fun. Okay, Preeya, we're ready to go. Just take the lid off there and you can see I've got this lovely mixture in the bottom and I just use a spatula, one of my favourite tools in the entire kitchen, to make sure I get every single bit out of there.
So it's basically like a cheesecake base.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. So it's a cheesecake made into a cookie. So
wow,
that's what we're
all
doing.
the indulgence and decadence all in one.
Well, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it big. That's what I like to say. So I've got a little ring here, which is a cutter ring. You can use anything, this sort of shape that you have in the kitchen. I've got a tray here with baking paper on it. That makes sure that nothing sticks to it. So what we do to start with is we grab some of this mixture here, and this is quite soft. You can let it set in the fridge or let it cool down a little bit so it's easy to work with. But I prefer it like this when it's soft. It's almost like the consistency of peanut butter without all the stickiness. And I just move it around the bottom here with my finger just to get a base. You want a nice little flat base. And then I push it up the sides just a little bit because we need to put that cheesecake mixture into it. Once you've got all these ingredients in here, we just take the top off it. And this is a good reason why you would let it cool down a little bit. The top comes off it really easy.
Soft.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we've got like a little bowl shape there. And then the next thing we like to do is grab some of this mixture here and then pop it into the middle and then smooth it around like that. So that'll sort of spread out and smooth into it. And a little thing that I like to do is sprinkle some pistachio around the outside. Not only does it look good, but if you've been a little bit haphazard and, you know, the outside hasn't come out,
it hides the defects.
It hides any of the defects there. So you get a great looking little dish, and then all we need to do is make another couple of these, pop them in the oven, 170 degrees Celsius, 12 to 15 minutes. They'll be nicely cooked, and I can't wait to get into these and cookies. They'll be delicious. Okay, Preeya, look at that.
They look very glorious, really.
They do.
They do.
3 on a plate and 1 for you and I to share.
Okay, let's do this.
I'm just going to cut it in half like that. You can see it's quite short, so you can cut it like a cheesecake, can't you?
You can.
That's the beauty of it. Nice little piece for you.
Oh, thank you. It's like a little pizza slice.
It is,
Thanks,
it is.
Richard.
So what we're looking for is that cheesecake flavour and that crumbly biscuit.
I love Richo sounds. When he loves something, I do quite like the noises. That is very delicious. Lots of sometimes things in there, but I think the Cookie Monster would say enjoy it sometimes.
Sometimes is now.